difference of opinion in that there's a certain troll by the name of Queen Barb who represents the hard rock trolls. And she sort of thinks the way to save music is to sort of unite everyone by making them all the same style or the same genre of music. And so Poppy and Branch sort of, like I said, go on this crazy adventure to try to help teach Barb that all styles of music should be saved. Branch and Poppy's relationship has changed a little bit. It took the whole first movie to sort of bring Branch out of his shell and help him to discover his true colors, and now I think he's exploring some feelings with Poppy that he's never really felt before, and trying to find a way to tell her. As a sort of the producer of all this music, coming up with all these different styles and bringing them together was a big challenge, but a lot of fun for myself and the whole team. We really touched on so many different styles of music, and when you see the movie back, it's something that I think we're all really proud of, is that we're teaching young minds about all these different styles and how that can relate to life, and representing a celebration of individuality and how being different is pretty cool. Coming in again as executive music producer, when I found out the worlds that we were exploring and how far our reach was gonna go and how diverse the music was gonna become, I just got incredibly excited, and felt like, honestly, the way that I grew up hearing so many different and experiencing so many different styles of music, I felt like a kid again. There are no bad ideas. That's always one of my rules in the studio, is that there are no bad ideas. And I think he's the same way. He's pretty tenacious, and we'll both stay till the job is done, so to speak. But we had a lot of fun. His musical ability speaks for itself, and his knowledge of music and his approach is sort of one in a million. So I had a lot of fun working with Ludwig. I think the reason people connect with Trolls is that there's a beautiful, humorous, loving way to bring you a message of diversity and how that should be celebrated. And at the same time, I mean, all this fantastic music, if I can say that. Can I say that? It's just a great ride every time. This movie is really funny and really musical, and really has a wonderful, wonderful message for young people and for older people like myself.
Beginning of Trolls 2, the world tour, Poppy is queen now, which is very exciting. So she's in a kind of leadership role, and she's like kind of discovering who she is as a leader. And she finds out that there are all these other kinds of trolls in the world, and they have all these different styles of music that they have their kind of worldview based on. And she finds out that there's another queen who wants to take over all the trolls and have the only music in the troll universe be rock music. And Poppy and Branch have to kind of go on this really fun adventure and meet all these different kinds of trolls to save all the music, obviously. She's on kind of a personal journey to make sure that she's a good leader and that she listens. And there's a kind of larger message in the movie about listening to different voices and celebrating each other's differences. And It's just such a fun way to explore that idea because in it we get to have Kelly Clarkson singing country and just all these different styles of music and all these different styles of trolls. I think the first time I saw the finished movie, I was like, oh man, if I were a little kid, I would be like, oh no, the techno trolls are my favorite. Oh, the country trolls are my favorite. Because they've just done such an amazing job designing all these different characters. Queen Barb, who's played by Rachel Bloom, who is so funny in this movie, she represents rock music, and the rock trolls want to take over the world and make everybody hard rockers. And I think it was really like, again, that choice was just the funniest choice and like helped the story the most, because obviously it's kind of like a perfect genre of music to be these like tiny villainous trolls. And there's a lot of really good rock music sequences in the movie. But it's pretty great to have, Rachel and Ozzy Osbourne like really leaning into the comic elements of being like the baddies in this movie. We get a little bit of vulnerable Branch in this one because he wants to, say that he feels more than friends with Poppy, and, he just doesn't have the courage to really say it. So it's really sweet to see them evolving and, trying to talk about their feelings. She's very loyal and she's tough, that like this leader, this, kind of pretty pink princess is really optimistic about people, really loves everything, but also is just smart and tough. And like being able to have those little moments of like growl in her vocalization is really fun. I felt really confident and happy to be working with him again, and like really looked forward to those sessions because I get to kind of dabble in music. I've been lucky enough to be in films where I get to kind of stand just on the outside of the music world. And, having somebody like Justin involved, it just makes me feel so grateful that I get to like fulfill that little part of me and know that I'm in such good hands. It's like having like the best parachute on your back. Well, I will say that for adults, I'm just very grateful that they think that the movie and the music is, like, good enough, they like it enough that they can watch it with their kids over and over and over and not get mad at me and Justin. So very grateful to you, Justin, for making the music good. 'Cause that was something that he said when were working on the first one. He was like, "I just wanna make sure that parents are happy to listen to this music." Audiences can expect, the same kind of signature positivity, and colorful kind of visual feast of the first movie, and then, just a lot more music, a lot more characters. It really is this sweet kind of discovery of all these different genres that, of course, we all know about, but to like really get to see them on display through the lens of the Trolls world is really fun.
Voiceovers for the Trolls World Tour with Queen Essence has been fun for me because it's acting is something that I love to do, and you get a chance to speak for these cartoon characters, and I am a huge animation film fan. I love all types of cartoons, and just to be able to speak for Queen Essence and to be a part of a huge franchise like Trolls is just amazing. I'm so grateful. It means a lot to me. I'm so excited to be a part of this cast. I mean, Justin Timberlake, Kelly Clarkson, George Clinton, Anderson .Paak, who's one of my favorite artists. Just to be a part of something like this for children, for them to see us.
He is the reigning prince of funk, and he's got a good vibe to him. Cooper, I think, was looking at the scrolls and sees that there's trolls that kind of look like him with the 4 legs. So he goes on this journey trying to find someone that looks like him and, maybe find his people, and gets sucked up by the funk ship, if you will, the mothership. And when he gets up there, that's when he meets Prince D. He meets me and sees that, oh, he does have a twin brother, looks just like him. They kind of catch up, and my character, Prince D, kind of lets him know the whole story of what happened with their strings and how the pop trolls and the funk trolls kind of had a little beef. Justin Timberlake was super smooth in the studio. He's just like, man, let's have fun. And I always wanted to work with him. It's like been a dream of mine. So it was dope to be able to work on something like this where they kind of been through the experience before. And so I know they were kind of knew what to expect with the next one, but they were still open to trying new things and letting me try new things as well. With Don't Slack, it was kind of like the end of the session, I feel like, and I just like hopped on the drums, and Ludwig, who was making all the music with Justin as well, he hopped on the guitar, and you know, the songs like that, they either can take like years to make or just like minutes, and that was one that just happened in minutes. Cream Barber, she's obsessed. She's just like, she's gotta have all the trolls, you know, doing heavy metal headbanger, you know, type action and mosh pits. She just wants everyone to respect rock and roll, you know, and not only that, like hard rock. It's crazy too, because nowadays too, I feel like rock is it's kind of a void right now for real rock bands now. And so I kind of feel her on that, you know. It would have been nice, but yeah, she's not taking no for answer, and she's taking over, you know, each village and just being like, nope, this is rock. And what we say goes. And she got Ozzy, you know, the OG in there. Doesn't really know what's going on, but he's down for it too. And I thought it was dope, man. She's got the tenacity. You know, she's you kind of need that. There are so many humans that look like troll characters, and I think that when they see this cartoon, they can see, you know, themselves. You know, they can finally see someone that they can relate to. There's always a little troll inside of us. Some, you know, go on and comment and make, you know, little posts and stuff, but I think this is more so about that positive troll that lives inside of you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think people love the fact that all these genres are coming together, so then they, you know, people come up with hard rock, and then they get exposed to hip hop, and then that kind of changes their whole life, or people, enough people know about classical music, you know what I'm saying? So it's giving a lot of shine to like these genres and stuff. This is actually the perfect movie to get the most out of a theater experience. So much good music, so many good sounds and colors. Like, it was so much stuff to look at. It was amazing, like just such a treat for the eyes and the ears. And, you know, unless you got a crazy sound system at the crib, you might want to go and check it out at the theaters to get the full impact.
Tiny Diamond, as you can see. I love that, you know, they're even including me in this series. And, you know, we're like a big fan of the original movie, huge fan of Anna's, and a huge fan of Justin. So it's just nice to be welcomed into the fold. But my character is awesome. He raps, and he has a super low voice, even though he's super tiny. So it helps me out. You know what I'm saying? I can come in early in the morning and still make it rain. You know what I'm saying? I think the music for sure is like on another level from what I've only heard bits and pieces, but it just seems like it's so grand, and it's including like so many different forms of music, you know what I mean? And you know, I think that's really cool. This movie is like exploring like all the different like genres, not all of them, but like, you know, everybody's favorite 5 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, they including the hip hop, so you know, I'm golden. It's an extreme honor and a blessing to be, you know, in a movie with people's talent that I truly admire. You know, it's a long list of awesome people. Justin, you know, Anna, Kelly Clarkson, Anderson .Paak, super awesome. George Clinton, Ozzy Osbourne. That's crazy.
The thing I like about the film mostly is it's a message that celebrates being different. And when you're young, when you're at school, it can be really hard to be different. The tiniest difference in your life can be something which becomes massive. The wrong haircut, the wrong bag, the wrong pair of shoes. School can be pretty brutal sometimes. But this is a film which I hope tells you that actually, if you're different, if you look different, if you think different, you're probably one of the luckiest people in that school, because it means you've got an imagination, and it means you've got a a want for something else, for something new, to create something. And so the film celebrates all differences. And so long as you use those differences to be positive and to make a difference, either in your school or outside your school, and every day really, you'll be celebrated for it one day. I guarantee you that. I think what I love about the film is that they've managed to take all of the things which people love about the first Trolls, which are these characters and the world that they live in, and it's just opened it out to this huge sort of expanse with these new characters and new dilemmas, and it's and new adventures really, but it feels so much bigger than the first film, but with all the heart and emotion still intact. I can't wait for you to see it, and I can't wait for my own little people who are at home to see it. I love how dramatic he is. I love that he's just a sort of king of drama, really. And of course, you know, if you love Biggie, you've got to love Mr. Dinkles. So together I think they're only happy if there's drama happening. That's why I like him.
King Trollix loves bringing people together. You know, I think his big thing is it's not just about throwing a party or a gathering. It's really about bringing people together and celebrating music and celebrating how music brings people together. And I think that's what makes him so awesome. And he's just on 10 all the time. And I think in a lot of ways I live my life on 10 all the time. I mean, it's pretty awesome to be on the same bill as, Justin Timberlake, Anna Kendrick, Anderson .Paak, Kelly Clarkson, Ozzy Osbourne, and all the George Clinton, all these amazing people, you know, and it's just super cool to be even in the same breath as those people. So I'm just really excited, and I'm also just really excited to animate a character. I've always wanted to do it since I started acting, and this is like one of those things where you like, all your friends will be like, yo, you made it. You like have your voice on an animated character. And I'm like, let's go. I love acting for animation because you get to really be the biggest version of yourself. You get to explore, you get to explore in ways that you sometimes can't on camera, and it's just awesome. You get to just make this, like this, you're making this thing from scratch, really, and then this character is like sketched based on your movements and your voice, and it's really cool to like give your voice to something, and then like you have no idea what it looks like until maybe a year later, and then you're like, whoa, that's what came of what I did, you know. So it's pretty cool animating a character in that way, where you're just, it's truly a blank slate. It's all you have are words on the paper, and you kind of bring these words to life, and then the words bring the character to life, which I think is pretty special.
Trolls World Tour is about my character, Queen Barb of the Hard Rock Trolls, wanting to unite all of the trolls under hard rock and getting rid of the rest of the music. I got to create a character kind of from almost the music genre of rock outward. That was the first thing that informed the character of Barb. And it's really fun because you really have freedom to play, and there isn't a time limit. And so you can kind of just explore, and all that matters is what's coming out of your mouth into the microphone. She's a teenager. I mean, she has the mentality of kind of a 15-year-old who is deeply insecure and very overcompensatory and wants to be the queen of everything and wants to make her dad proud. And she still kind of hasn't grown up, because that's a pretty immature thing to think, oh, if everyone just thinks the way I do, then everything will be fine. She doesn't understand why she's so chipper all the time. It's kind of unnerving. Someone that happy and chipper, it's like, what's your deal? It scares her. Well, I think this story is special because it explores kind of the complex idea of, if we're all alike, there won't be fighting, but then the world would be a boring place. And so especially in this day and age, a movie that celebrates differences and celebrates disagreeing and different points of view is really unique.
King Quincy, he's informing and letting everybody know that everything is better when everything is on the one. When everybody's all together, when there's one nation under a groove, everything works out better. And he's trying to bestow that on everybody. I think this film upped the ante with the emphasis put on music. I mean, all different kinds of music, all different genres of music, and that brings it together as a world peace through music. I think this one actually achieved that. All people have a groove that they can participate in, and to bring it together on one film is excellent. Being in there with all the different younger musicians helped me reinvent myself, helped me keep being able to dance and participate. And best of all, being able to play a cartoon character is something I've always wanted to do. But with this crew, it's really a dream come true. Mary J, we've worked together before. I loved working with her. But Anderson .Paak, I wanted to meet him anyway. He's got a lot of talent. I know I can rub off some of that. I really like him. And Justin, he's bad. I ain't got to say nothing about him. He's bad on his. You don't need nobody to say nothing. He's bad. Well, I think that's a good theme. People working together. Music brings people together, and doing this particular film, it shows that togetherness makes everybody stronger. When it all comes together as one, I don't care how many different genres of music, but when they come together to sing together in anything, it makes us all stronger.
Where is the buzz?
Where is the buzz? You said
We used to be
was
ashamed, bro.
mine.